Well, hello. Glad to see you all today. It is 7:06, and I waited a little while to see who's coming on, but the show must go on. So I have provided you guys some a link inside of the what was it inside the comments on the bottom. I'm trying to find it now. So I'm getting good. I'm trying to get good with all of this stuff. So it's gonna be, let's see, at the bottom, I think. Should be a link that you're gonna have, and I don't see it. Did I do it? Okay. However, at any rate, we're here today to talk about how to switch from an employee to an entrepreneurial mindset. My name is Edna White. I am an author, a business owner, real estate industry specialist, and I host a show. I'm also the president of the Greater Gordon Heights Chamber of Commerce and economic chair for Brookhaven Town NAACP. So anyway, what gives me the right to kind of talk to you all about how to switch off the employee mindset and turn on the entrepreneurial mindset, because I had a business myself. So what I had to turn on is the fact that there was so many real estate agents that were coming out at the time. I think it was 1999, and everybody wanted to get into real estate after the situation in 1985. So everybody thought it was a great place to be. And so I had to get out of my head that, there's so many people around me that, are real estate agents, but I had to learn that they don't sell real estate like me. So, I learned the basics, but I also learned the edgy component is education. When you educate people around you and you give to them, you get so much more, and then you build a foundation. And that's how I sell real estate. That's how I rent real estate. It's like, if I couldn't live it in myself, I wouldn't give it to you unless I knew you were going to fix it up and make it something beautiful. So that's how that goes. But anyway, that's the mindset change I'm talking about. It has to switch on, and guess what? It wasn't overnight, because there was a lot of things I had to take off. I had to take off being totally independent and not asking for help. I had to take off self-doubt, imposter syndrome. I had to take all of that stuff off. So I had to kind of shed myself of all those things. So that's the type of mindset that we're going to talk about today. All right. I figured out the word. It was PowerPoint. So on this page will be the PowerPoint for you to go through, and you can kind of print it out. It's only 12 pages, but you could print it out and add your notes to it. Okay. So, I guess I'll get started with what we're going to be talking about. How to switch off. I keep saying on. How to switch from the employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. Now, there's many people that want to start a business. There's a lot of people that want to start a business and have great ideas. But with every great idea, you have to have the foundational pieces when it comes to it, right? And we all know that, because I think there's so many entrepreneurs out there that signed up for the class. We already know that. So there are so many just reasons that you could say you have to be, at your job, or you could say that you started why you started business. So, but if you can say all that, and it does exist, that the better thing to have is to build it so that it's foundationally right. So you have to go get a business certificate. You have to have insurance. If you don't know, you kind of learn. That's the object of changing the mindset from one to the other. Because one, it's interesting, but one of them really, it's really interesting when I tell you this stuff because I broke it down for myself. So I'm going to give you seven ways, just 7 switches that you're able to change your mindset, right? So if you have any questions, please make sure you put them in the chat or under the comment section so that I can answer them. And I'll be glad to answer them. So, let me see. So, number 1 is the employee says, I'm afraid, so I must conform. And the entrepreneur says, my fear fuels me. Now, being an employee also means being part of a system. And let's be real, very often, if not most often, if that's the right way to say it, being part of the system also means being part of a certain way of doing things. It may be how it's done in your company or in your department or even in your group. There's a certain way that you have to conform. So an employee conforms to the system, and the entrepreneur takes that fear of the unknown, of the what's going to happen next, what's my next step. Okay, so I asked somebody what's my next step. I worked with this person to take my next step. Now, how do I take my next step? It's really just basically taking all of that information and feeling your fear. Taking that fear that you have inside of you and feeling it, focusing on, now, what is my fear really telling me? That I don't know something. And that's okay, because you don't have to be a control freak every time. So that's all right. So you get rid of being a control freak. You get used to being vulnerable and acknowledging and being aware of yourself. So in order to switch, you're going to start switching the mind on just those words I said in the beginning. Employee says, I'm afraid, so I must conform. Have you ever said that to yourself? Well, it's time to switch that. Switch the verbiage, switch the thoughts, the fear that goes along with it. Because if I leave here, then what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. But you need to switch on your entrepreneurial mindset. I was going to say brain, but mindset. Your fears can fuel you if you allow them to. They will actually fuel you to think, clearly, if you let them, if you allow them. And to an entrepreneur saying this, it means first and foremost that admitting that fear is definitely involved. Yeah, I'm afraid. Being afraid. But it's also learning how to use that fear instead as the fuel and not an obstacle. So the other way would be, okay, the fear is stopping me from being myself. And although I know the question, I'm going to conform to the system because he always answers the questions. I may not be smart enough. So to use your fear as an energy, you have to create more, right? You have to work harder and be innovative more. So you funnel your energies into creating, working, refining, researching, innovating. So take one step of that. Just take one step of that, and you'll be moving towards out of the employee mindset. Number 2 would be employees make the mistakes and they say they're bad. But entrepreneurs make mistakes and that makes them succeed. So it's okay to make mistakes because then you know what the broken cog is. See, we don't think that way. We don't think that there's something good always coming out of whatever's going on. Something's good coming out of it. The more mistakes you make as an employee, though, the closer you may get to getting fired, right? more mistakes. You can't make mistakes in a job. You can't make mistake as an employee, right? Mistakes are not very popular in the conventional world of business. Just not popular. You don't make mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're going to get reprimanded, or you're going to take a step back, or you're going to be out of the project. You're going to have, there's always a repercussion behind a mistake. Now, even if your mistake happens to be proven right, it's still, to the employees or in the employee world, it's a mistake. It's the worst thing could ever happen. It costs you money, it costs you time, and it costs you energy. That's what the employee mindset says, right? So we see mistakes as bad and try as much as possible to stay away from them. We do our best. We we don't want to make a mistake. We actually become perfectionists at not perfecting. I don't know. But we can't be, that's the mindset you don't want. You don't want that. So dig deep inside your thoughts and what you agreed upon, and journal those things. So the 1, 2, what I'm telling you today, the 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7. Journal how you feel. So you're gonna put on one side, is this true? Mistakes are bad. Is it true? Is my mistakes making me succeed? Is that true? And if you have the employee mindset, you now have to turn that around and say, my mistakes make me succeed as an entrepreneur, as a side hustler who wants to turn their business full time. Those who are in business want to excel their income level, their profits way up there. They want to switch it around. That's what's holding you back and having you struggle. That's holding you back. That's making you stop yourself. So you're your own worst enemy. You're the one that's standing in your way because things get bad and you make a mistake at work, and then you go home, you're mad at your kids, you don't want to talk to anybody, then you go to bed mad, and you wake up mad, and you eat mad, and it just starts all over again, right? Energy. That's bad energy. So you don't profit from that. You don't profit. You get the negative, but you don't profit from that. From an entrepreneur's mindset, you know the value of mistakes and that you use them as pathways to success. Perfect examples, when I was starting my business, I thought it was supposed to be this niche, and it ended up being this niche. So I made a whole lot of edits, and I would say, I want to say over 100 edits to all my social media. Kept changing it until boom, one just stuck, and it was the right thing, right? So making all those mistakes made me so very sure of where I am right to this day. So in my coaching business, I know this, I can't be swayed from that, because I know and I believe in my skill and have confidence in that. So I take those mistakes as learning lessons. I take them to improve me and for me to get better. Like, did Michael Jordan just famously said that he failed over and over in life, and that's why he succeeded? Oprah was depressed in her 30s, right? And she faced a whole lot of problems. She was fired from her job. The first job she ever had, she was fired. So, but she got through the challenge. I'm not telling you it's going to take 30 years now. Don't think that. But when you learn things, you learn them. You learn them. She didn't get to learn, all the things that she's learning now at an early age. So that mattered too. But she still went through it. So I hope you're taking the notes. And like I said, I just want to go back, because I think somewhere here is that in the comment section, there will be a PowerPoint available for you to print out. It's about 12 pages. If you don't have it, leave the a comment in the link, and I'll, add it to the comment session or the thread. And then if you would like it further in an email form, I'll do that as well. So sorry about that. I'm so used to Zoom being able to split screens and everything. Facebook doesn't really do that. So I'm learning things about that as well. So, okay, number 3. And the employee says security is taking no risks, right? But the entrepreneur says security is taking calculated risks. So I have had a few clients that were in what society says secure jobs, and they were very unhappy what they were doing, and they had did it for 20, 30, 40 years, and they were very unhappy, and they just got to make it this next 5 years to get a good pension. And I said, and you're going to stay, you're going to stay miserable for, for 20, 30, 40 years and 5 more years? When you realize it, it should be time to say no, when you realize that that's something wrong there that says that's a sense of security, what makes you think you'll make it 5 years, What makes you think that? And you still got your head down to the grindstone, and you're hustling, but that's what the employee does. Security is taking calculated risks. One of my favorite movies is Last Holiday, and of course you all know that I love Queen Latifah. She's like the best of, I just love her and all the things that she accomplished in her life and what she's standing for now. So, but anyway, in Last Holiday, she thought she was going to die. She got bumped on the head. Remember that? Bumped on the head. Thought she had this tumor or whatever. So what she did, she threw caution to the wind. And she sold all the bonds that her mom gave her, sold them all. It must have been a lot, because she ended up in, I think, Germany. I think it was Hotel Poop. And she had the most amazing adventure within 3 days, because she made a calculated risk. She threw security away because she realized that she was going to die. That's all she kept saying. I'm going to die. So she realized that she was going to die, but when she finally realized it, she's going to die going out in style. So that was a big lesson. So I would say that to you. This is what that sums it up. Now, that movie sums up this statement right here. So write down, where you are. See, like security is just like I just said. So 401ks, bonds, all those things, those are sense of security. However, employment will always say, don't let go of the cause. They'll teach you. Don't let go of the cause. You got to stay in the cause. You got to stay in the cause. And you have to put money away and never question anything about what you do with them. Oh, they said this, you do it. Never question, never go through it again, never sit down with somebody that really knows more than you. But we don't take that calculated risk. We don't calculate that risk. And as employees, we keep that switched on. We need security. We need this. We need that. We need that. Now, security to an employee in any business, to an employee, it means a paycheck and savings. That's what it means. That's what it means. If you live in paycheck to paycheck, that's what it means. You get excited about the end of the week, and everybody's like, Friday. I say Friday because I used to want to get off of work and be done with it and have Saturday and Sunday. So, but you wait for that check, and that's a false sense of security, because it's not. It could leave tomorrow, as we've seen in the last few years in the pandemic. All right, so Take a look at that. Take a look at your thoughts on that. All right, and see how you can really kind of help yourself with that. Take a real good look at that. All right. Um, let's see. Number 4, the employee. I must know it all. Versus the entrepreneur. I'm constantly learning. Now this is interesting because entrepreneurs are constantly learning. They're learning how to fix things. Remember my example just earlier? I changed my LinkedIn, must have been like 100 times in 90 days. That's what it was, 90 days. Because I was working with a marketer. I must have changed it 90, yeah, maybe 90 instead of 100. But I changed it a lot of times, I will say. And till I got to a place, this lines up with me. And so, you know, I learned. I didn't think of, oh, people are gonna see me changing my LinkedIn. I was like, I started saying, so, I'm trying to figure it out. So, so I didn't care about that. So entrepreneurs are constantly learning, whereas there is often an implicit requirement as an employee to know it all. So when you're given that list of like what your duties are, you got to know it all. And if you don't know it all, there's always a cost to that. Or pretend you know it all and still get the repercussions of that. So it's important to start shifting your mindset to one where you're not afraid to admit you don't know everything. One where you're open to learning constantly and you're not embarrassed about learning. As adults, we're embarrassed about learning. So if we got the wrong answer, as a 5-year-old would do, or first, second, third grade. So what's the answer? We don't do that. We were like, oh, I got the wrong answer, and shrivel up instead of trying to figure out the answer. Right? So start training your brain that you will always be learning. Because that fear has to go, no matter what it looks like. Oh, I'm not great on speaking. That's fear. That has nothing. You are speaking. You're speaking to me. I may be an audience of one, but I'm still an audience, right? So don't tell me you can't speak in front of nobody. Please stop saying all of that. Excuse the dog outside, which is not my dog. It's somebody else's dog. So, sorry about that. Okay, so now you got that. Now that's somebody else's. So number 5 is employees say I must be. Oh, I did say that, right? Smartest person in the room. Oh no, this is a different one. Oh, like this one I like. Because I always just say that. I hate being the smartest person in the room. Employees say, I must be the smartest person in the room. Versus entrepreneurs saying, I surround myself with people who are smarter than me. That would be my team, my support system, my ones that know what I don't know. I love that. Yeah, I love the thought of that. Do you notice that successful entrepreneurs are not afraid to surround themselves with people who are much smarter than they? It's about reaching a common goal rather than looking a certain way. I really like once I started to network and kind of work in that, network and build my team around that, I was like, wow, that's really great. Like it relieves you of so much trying to do everything yourself and answer everything yourself and know everything yourself, where you surround people that they can be a resource and a valuable team for you. You'll learn to thrive once you start to change your mindset on a lot of things that we just took. It's a regular thing. And I think most of these things are just regular things. And we're smarter. We're certainly able to change it for sure. For very sure. So, That's number 5. Number 6, employees say it's important that I look good on the outside. That's what employees say, right? I remember when I got into real estate, and everyone said, well, you got to dress better than all the other non-blacks. And I'm like, you got to dress up every day. It cost me my back because I was wearing heels every day, but I was dressed up every day. Some days I just didn't feel like it. Then I met this guy in Southampton that came to show a $10 million house to me, and literally was wearing flip-flops and a t-shirt. And I was like, ding, got to be myself. Okay, so I diverted. So it's important that you look good on the outside. That's what the employee says. The entrepreneur says, who I am inside is more important. So you learn how to line that up. You learn how to, that whatever these guts, whatever the guts, the enormous grit, the enormous power, the enormous faith, whatever is inside of me, that's what's important. You know, because if what's ever inside definitely is going to come out. Going out on your own as an entrepreneur in any venture doesn't just require enormous amount of courage, but a lot of guts. It also requires a deep internal shift based on strong faith, because you have to have faith in yourself and faith in the higher power. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it universe, whatever whatever you want to call it. If you believe in the higher power, you build a stronger faith base for yourself so that you can be your very own cheerleader when things are not how you want them to be. And it also gives you a better sense of commitment for a better you. It does. It's a different avenue when you start to switch that mind, change what you're saying, change how you're saying it, reframe your heart, and anything that your soul agreed to, that your body is really acting out. I think I said this at number 7. Yay. I think I'm going pretty fast there. I think I did. Number 7, employee says the goal is my promotion. Right? So think about when you were an employee. Yeah. It's a promotion, a raise, something with a reward to it, right? You always think that. But an entrepreneur says the goal is the journey. You know, I often look at all of my performance records on my Facebook statistics. I always look at them, and we always look. You know, you look at your own goals and things that you're doing, and clearly you see things kind of like what you're achieving, what you're not achieving, what you're achieving, what you're not achieving. But when you're waiting to get all of this in one resume, and it's like gigantic, and you're waiting for that, what's the big payoff? Is it because you want to have a whole lot of firsts, and you want to hit historical, markers in your life as well as your family life? Or you want to get that next promotion to hold your family over, to hold the bill over, to hold over something that has a tangible value to it. See, you have to turn the goal outcome off and enjoy the journey, because a lot of times I was so consumed with, I got to get to this, when I didn't see that I was winning awards, people were giving me grants. I didn't see all of that. I couldn't see it because I was so focused on this here, and I had to say, I gotta slow down, because didn't somebody just say they was gonna give me a grant? And you miss it, or you almost miss it. So you don't want to miss those trailblazing things that you're going to do as an entrepreneur. You don't want to miss that. Yet in the entrepreneurial journey, I'm getting like weird with the word, is a process in and of itself. On that, it is built upon achievements. each failure, remember we talked about failures before, and some lessons to be learned. All right? So if you're making this decision to go into entrepreneurship, I suggest a lot of research, who's doing what. And if there's somebody who's making money, in the same industry you are, how can I learn from that? How can I do what they do? You have to be in the mindset that they switched their minds a long time ago. They turned their minds differently. So, what I will tell you is that if you have any questions, because I was finished quickly because I thought maybe somebody was going to say something, and we got a whole hour here, so I don't see anyone with any comments. I don't see any at all. If someone has a question, maybe. If not, I'm going to give it just a little bit of time for some questions if someone has some. If not, I'm going to go to the second part that I would like to talk about. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay. I think everybody. Okay, let's see. I don't know if anyone asked me a question. Let me see. Okay, no questions. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna go to. We're gonna talk about how that shift can happen, and some of the things you need to like really kind of turn on consciously, and be concerned about addressing it. So when you change and shift your mindset, when you do that, you save your business. You really do. You save your business, you save some people, and you save yourself. When you're switching your mindset, you're not keeping the old kind of patterns that you were thinking. Yeah, actually getting out of habits, and you're getting new ones. You're creating new ones. You're achieving more. So you have to make sure that in this entrepreneurial journey, you have to know that you need to have a different mindset. I want you to be aware that sometimes entrepreneurship is not all it's going to be. But if you really take your time and kind of strategize what you can and cannot do to kind of make that, either bridge that transformation or really get into it, and what are the next steps that I have to do to make this larger than life. So it can shift your mindset no matter what. It can shift your mind. You shift your mindset and your business. I'm so sorry. And your business. I'm tired because I've been talking since 6:30. But it can shift your business. It can shift your profitability. It can shift how you network, because you even network differently. You can shift how you use your time. When that mindset changes, it's all about productivity instead of being busy. Busy doesn't produce anything. If you look up the word busy, look it up. It doesn't say anything about productive, solve the problem, save the life. It don't say anything like that. And anyone can be busy, but so very few can be productive. They all can, but you have to be productive. So I'm not saying it's 100% all the time. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna have your days, but you will need to change even the way you say things. I'm busy. You have to change your words. Be aware of your words that you have to change, because those words got to change with you from the inside, not outside. Okay? That kind of happens later. So Make sure that when you're on this, it's really a dramatic change. It's not something that you can ease into, you're born with. No, no, no. It's dramatic. And you need to shift really hard. And you need to shift really quickly and really stay and kind of stay there, because it could be the determinant of your success. Okay? So, one of the things that an employee has the ability to do, right, is employees don't have this ability. They don't have it. Entrepreneurs do. So as an employee, you are not responsible for your own decisions. So if you say, I want to make a decision about this, and everyone has to vote, right? Or everyone in the team has to agree. Good or bad, it has to be a majority. But when you're an entrepreneur and you calculate and you strategize, you have the incredible opportunity to create something from nothing in the way that it's not possible working for someone else. And that means making those big decisions to tell you not to be told what to do, but to be the one that creates what to do. You make it happen. As an entrepreneur, you make it happen. Successful entrepreneurs also understand that opportunities may be short-lived. So there's an opportunity, the $10,000 was available to me for 3 days. I had to make up my mind, right? But I kind of, postponed it, but I didn't get it. But I did put in for the $1,000, right? So it's a short-lived, but it is an opportunity. Both of them were short-lived, but at least I got something, because I was, that was my day to do whatever I needed to do for that. Okay? So I had a commitment, but you have to know that you are part of making good or bad decisions, so you can make them. As an entrepreneur, you can make a good decision, you can make a bad decision. And no one goes with you. It's just you. But you're always calculating, and they're neither good or bad decisions. It's just, something that you had to achieve to get to a goal or exercise a sense of urgency. Okay? You need to hold both short and long-term visions at the same time. So how I learned was 3 weeks, because that was actionable times, right? 3 months, right? 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. You need to have short and long-term visions. Where is this going to take me in 3 weeks? This one task, what is it going to take me? Or where's this business going to take me in 3 months? Or if I have to make changes to my business, what is this change going to do for my business in 3 weeks? Actionable, right? So you're always going to have actionable things in mind, tasks. And you realize there are going to be some pitfalls, but you always believe there's an opportunity right around the corner. And it comes from making decisions that you're uncertain about. But if you can see and have a vision, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. If you have a vision like that set up, I could tell you, I wrote my 3-week vision in crayon, because my son was sitting next to me, so I wrote my in crayon, It can be done that way. I've seen some do it with lipstick. It can be done that way. But no matter how it is, write it down. Have some certainties while you're making uncertain, steps that you're really not clear on, because it's something new for you. Okay? So I want you to get ready for this. Feeling uncomfortable is your new comfort zone. Okay? Yep. As an employee, used to thinking inside the box. Whatever they say, everything is inside the box, right? Always thinking like that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, the rules say this. The calculations say this. All rules. All inside. But as an entrepreneur, there's no box. Either you're going to make the box, or you're not going to have a box, and you're going to add things to the box. Whatever, there's no box. It has to be created by you. So you see what others will not see. You will test new ideas. I know that there are some, pastry makers. There, what do you call them? Chefs or specialties. People that cook specialties like macaroni and cheese or things like that. Cookies. I know there are people out there that have to make those decisions, right? But those new ideas that you have to test out is nerve-wracking, right? You got to set up a table and you're going to do this test. And then you hate to hear the word, oh, this is nasty. But you have to hear it. And then you also have to follow up and say, well, what is it that you didn't like? What could I have done better? And write it down. And get the best recipes that way. But, your idea is not tested yet, so you got to get out there. You got to seize new territory. Okay, when I was in real estate, everyone was in Shirley Mastic. I said, I want to go to Patchogue and I want to go to Southampton. I'm going to get 2 houses, to list in both of those areas. I said it, took the risk, and I did. So you have to seize new territory. You don't have to be in the same territory. Your comfort zone is uncomfortable at this point. So this is going to require courage, thick skin. Can't cry when somebody says this is not made right, or this doesn't taste good, or I don't like your services. You can't cry. And you have to keep going despite rejection and skepticism. That's why your mindset has to change. That's why it's got to switch off that employee. The employee is moved by what other employees are saying about them, or their supervisors, or managers, or they move that way. They are in that box. But living out loud as an entrepreneur, it takes courage. And like I said before, learning. You're going to keep learning. You're going to keep learning how your business grows. It's not always going to be the same here. As you can tell from Kentucky Fried Chicken, you can tell from all these different things. It's not going to be, just right in here, So just make sure that you're going to be doing some continuous learning. One of the things I tell a lot of my clients, they come up with an idea. And it's the greatest idea, and it fits right here, and I love it, da-da-da-da, I love it, love it, love it. But I love to know about numbers. Although I don't like using them like an accountant, I have a love to know what numbers mean, why they are sitting certain ways, so I'm pretty concerned about numbers, right? And what's important to me is statistics. When you're going to business, you have to do the research. Research doesn't mean looking up everyone's who's around you there, what they have in the menu, or what they sell in their store, or what they do in the community. It's not any of that. Research is finding out if people like things and taking their advice. So if I made curtains and I said, okay, I want to do mustard yellow, a pink, and a light blue. So I have to put myself out there and do the research so I could find out who likes this and where my money, my cash flow is going to be coming from. If I just own an idea, and I don't do any research, you're not counting the cost. What man built a house except he count the cost? So you're not counting the cost as an entrepreneur because you're not thinking about your cash flow. That keeps you in business. You're not thinking about that. So ultimately, it's your sales, it's your costs, your profits, and your losses that will either give you sleepless nights or an inevitable lifestyle. So you have to be guided by those numbers. You have to do some research, put yourself out there, learn what your audience or your people want. What do you want? I can give it to you. What do you want? If you're making ice cream, you want that type of, I can do that. And you work at it until you perfected it. Another one is to love your business, but you love your business, but be objective. All right. As an employee, you can go on doing something you dislike just for the salary, right? As an entrepreneur, you need to love your business, your idea. Because if you're not putting effort into loving it, who do you think is going to do it? Got to be your own cheerleader. There are going to be some long hours. Going to be a lot of effort on your part to learn what marketing is, to learn what branding is, to learn what advertising is, to learn all of that, to learn how to scale your business, all of that. That you're gonna have to do a lot of that to make your business great, make your idea work. You mustn't fall into the trap of thinking and acting like an employee in your own company, because what it does, the business runs you and you don't run the business. I often tell my students, listen, do you want to be the employee or the CEO? You have to be the CEO of your business. You can't be an employee, so you got to make some drastic changes. Got to make some changes. You can't, and I don't want to hear that you got to be in every place at one time. If you plan it out, no, you don't. And with all the things that we have now, all the resources we have now, no. So, unless you want to be a one-man or one-woman show, go ahead. But it's a lot of work. So you have to love your business, but be objective and know when enough is enough, right? As an entrepreneur, you don't have any rules. You don't move in the status quo. You better not. You look at things differently. Okay, that means a global perspective. Always, peering over horizons and looking further than where most people are looking, and look for the next big thing. That's what entrepreneurs do. Employees just don't break the rules. They stay confined. And if you're staying confined with your own business, you're going to be costing your business money. Learn how to manage time. Time is very important, and it's worth something to an entrepreneur. So if you don't want to be tied to your desk doing all the work, then you should hire a VA, right? And just do the most important work. Or learn how to use your time effectively and plan your meetings the correct way instead of forgetting. And then, I got to go on a call and tire yourself out. In entrepreneurship, there is no respite services. You will have to live and breathe and work and live. Okay, so use your time effectively. Now, I do have some procrastinators out there that I would like to say this very last word to. And that is, don't put it off. Start now. Most people underestimate the time it takes to make the transition to entrepreneurship. So it's sensible to start shifting your mindset while you're still employed, right? And perhaps even setting up a business to run alongside it, like some of us are doing side hustles, okay? This could give you, which it gave me and helped me develop a lot of skills and builds experience in something that I wanted to be confident in. I could spit it out so that you can enjoy the safety net of a salary or something that some point will almost turn into your business, and you could do it and make sure it grows. So make sure, if you're thinking about, start now. Start gathering the information. Start setting it up. Start, working your way through your transitioning. How are you going to transition? Because you want to leave. You want to move through. You want to be on this journey, right? As an entrepreneur with the right mindset. You don't want to keep starting and stopping, starting and stopping. You don't want to do that. You want a smooth transition. You want no troubles, and you want to learn from your mistakes. So you always want to start switching your mindset right away. Just right away. Calculating things in your mind and then writing them down on paper. All right? Now, I know I've said a lot today. Like I said, the PowerPoint is provided under the comments. If it's not there, I will just raise your hand, say I want the PowerPoint, whatever it is. Just make sure you say it on the bottom of the comment section. I'll make sure I get it to you. I'm going to give you a few minutes, again, if there's any questions, but I don't see any. So I guess that's okay. I guess. Either way. So if there are no questions, I definitely appreciate you all being here today. And let's see. I don't know what I can give you, because I always try to give away something. I'm trying to think of something to give away. I don't know. I'll probably... Okay, so if anyone is interested in the giveaway, comment in the giveaway, and I'll send you something that you can use for your business to start to put together a game plan. So that would be like a guide for startups and where do you start? What do you really start? Okay, so if you're interested in any of that, please let me know. And raise your hand and I will give it to you. I will send it to you. Okay? All right, so I want to thank you all for being part of this. I guess it's a little workshop, I guess. How to switch from an employee to an entrepreneurial mindset. Again, if you have questions, something that needs to be answered by me, I'm going to send you out the PowerPoint so you can see everything, and also this video will be around. So if you need to watch the video again, it will be around. I will make sure that I get a copy of it and, send it to everyone. But at this point, I am not getting any questions. I hope that something I said really helped you. If you need help with mindset switching and some little, I guess, not tricks, but some ways to transform your mindset and get rid of like those thoughts, that bad self-talk about your business, about you, I can give you some things that I've already written and already spoke about on YouTube. So let me know. I am here for you, and this is Edna White, and it's 8:01. We had 30 minutes to spare, but I hope I did a great job. Bye for now.